As we've said, the most important change in version 6 of the PMBOK guide is that Agile has been included to a much greater degree than it ever was in the earlier versions of the PMBOK guide. In version 5, they mentioned Agile or Agile terms in 6, 7, 8 places. It was not mentioned at all in version 4 and any of the other previous versions. So in version 6, they're finally embracing Agile to a much fuller degree. Every knowledge area has a section on considerations for using Agile methodology. So a couple of short paragraphs about using Agile for that knowledge area. But there's also a companion document, an Agile practice guide that's only 167 pages, but that can be on the test too. So PMI is advising us that questions from the Agile Practice Guide, as well as questions on these other paragraphs in the PMBOK guide on using Agile, could be on the test. So we are expecting that, and we have integrated quite a bit about Agile into our training materials for the PMP prep program. But there is a disconnect here. The role of the project manager, the default role of the project manager as described in the PMBOK guide is what? We're this large and in charge project manager. We're completely accountable. The buck stops with us. We have budgetary powers. We have a lot of influence on resources on our project, and we are quote unquote large and in charge. So by default, on the test, you're assuming that you're either a project manager in strong matrix or perhaps balanced matrix. Probably one of those two would be the default where you have those types of powers. But this is not what it is to be a project manager in Agile. We are not a large and in charge project manager. No, 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 no. We are quote unquote a servant leader. So it's our job on Agile projects to make life easier for the team by removing obstacles, ensuring they have the right tools, they have the right training. We're the caretakers of the methodology. If they have questions about how to run stand-up meetings or review meetings, we're the caretakers of that methodology. And we're also trying to ensure that the team isn't interfered with during the sprint. They're allowed to concentrate and focus on the work for that 2-week to 4-week sprint. And the thought is, because it's such a short iteration, short sprint, 2 to 4 weeks, management should be content with leaving the team alone and allowing them to create this product increment for the sprint, and then review things at the end of the sprint and find out what changes they want. But on Agile projects, the entire team is accountable for the project, not the project manager. How is that going to work? In your world, does that work very well? Doesn't manager always want that one key focal point that knows everything that's going on in the project, that quote unquote, that one throat to choke? How does that work? Well, it can work because of the far more frequent interactions that occur on an Agile team between the customer, the product owner, other senior managers, and the project team. They're invited to come in almost on a daily basis and view the information radiator and see what's going on. At minimum, they're going to do review meetings every 2 to 4 weeks to see what's going on. So because of the far more frequent interactions, we can make the team accountable, and that should often work. So in conclusion, for the PMP exam, if they don't say anything different, assume that you are that very empowered project manager in either strong matrix or balanced matrix, and you have budgetary powers and a lot of influence on resources. Assume that's the default. But if they do say that you're part of an Agile team and you're running the Agile project for the team, then no, assume that you're not so empowered and you are the servant leader, and your key role is to make life easier for the team, and they are accountable for the project.